Hey everybody, so I got a package the other day, and I didn't just get one Sega Genesis, I got two. And the one on the left I already cleaned up, and it looks actually pretty good. And it was actually, if you can believe it or not, it was a lot dirtier than this one I'm showing you right here, and this is the one we're actually going to clean up in this video. And so, the first thing we have to do is flip this guy over. And there's 4 screw ports, and they all use a standard Phillips screwdriver. So there's one right there, one right here, and one right here, and one right here. So I'm going to unscrew those, and then I'm going to pop this lid off for you guys. Alright, so I got those screws out, and now we should just be able to pop this lid right off. And it just slips just like that. And here's a closer view of the Genesis right here, the top cover. There's some dirtiness right here. There's some like just along these two, and right here as well. So we'll be able to get those out with some soap and water. Alright, so and here's the RF shield, and there's 8 screw points. They're all along, like right here, like all around the edges. So you just use your standard screwdriver and just get those out. And then I'll show you when I get those off. Alright, so I loosened up all the screws right here, and now we should just be able to lift this up. And I believe there's going to be a little bit of resistance, so just be careful with that. Yeah. There we go. And if you can see, it's pretty dusty, so we'll take care of that once we wash it with soap and water. You just put that aside right now. And here's the inside of the Sega Genesis. And this is pretty much it. That's all there is. Just the Sega Genesis is just a big motherboard. There's no fans or anything for this, because they didn't really need that back then for like all the hardware. But if you see it, it's really dusty. Like there's a huge like dust cloud right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. And right now we're just gonna get our compressed air, and we're just gonna blow as much dust as we can. So here you go. Alright, so I blew the motherboard with some compressed air and I got most of the dust out. But if there's still some dust in there, you could always just use a dry Q-tip and just go like along the motherboard and just try to get some of the dust out. And that should take care of most of the dust. And if you can see right here, let me show you guys. It doesn't want to focus, but there is some dust on there. Alright, so the next thing you're going to want to do now is to, in order to take the motherboard out of the console, you're going to want to unscrew this screw right here and right here. So I'll just do that right now. And these screws are actually a little bit longer than all the other screws, so just remember that. Just put those aside. And now you should be able to just lift this motherboard out of here. There we go. And underneath that, there's another RF shield that you could take out. This is also what the motherboard sits on, so you could just take this off, put it aside, and you could also rinse that with water. And you could just lift this RF shield as well. And then here's just the plastic. And you could rinse this as well with water and soap. And I like to use a toothbrush for like when I'm like washing everything, just to get as much dust and dirt out of there as possible. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll show you guys the end result of me washing all of those. Okay, so actually, before I start washing everything, here's the cartridge slot, and you could unscrew those, and so you can just wash this part and get like this nice and clean. And you could also take these buttons out, and all you do is just pinch. Here, just pinch this right here. And then just get your screwdriver and just poke this right here. And it just pops out just like that. And the same thing for this button as well. And if you want to take this little, like, where the light shows right here, you just have to, like, take it off from this point right here and right here. But be very careful because it's plastic, so it'll be prone to break. So I'm going to wash these and I'll be right back. Alright, so I just got back from cleaning the top part of the console, and by the look of it, you can see that it looks a lot better. But there's some things that you can't really get rid of, like deep scratches. But if there are scuff marks, like this one right here, you can actually use Mr. Clean's Magic Eraser, and that will get the scuff mark right out. So Mr. Clean's Magic Eraser is just really fine sandpaper with bleach in it, and what I find that works best is that you just wet it a little bit and wring out the water, and then just rub it against the console where the scuff mark is. And as you can see, scuff mark is gone. Now there's going to be some like dust from the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, but you could just use, water to get that out. And if you see any other scuff marks, just go ahead and use the Magic Eraser on that. Alright, so I let everything dry, and now we can put this thing back together. So here's just like the bottom part, and here's the RF shield for the bottom. And I should just slide right in. Alright, and then you're going to want to put in this black piece right here. And this only goes in one way, so you can't really mess up this part. Alright, and then you're going to want to put the motherboard in. Okay, and then remember those two long black screws that you had earlier. And you're going to put those where the cartridge slot is. And then just tighten those up. Right, and now that you have those tightened up, you can actually go ahead and clean the cartridge slot. And what I do is that I use a card just like this, and then I use like one of those cloths that you use for cleaning your glasses, and you just wrap that around the credit card like this, and then just put some Windex on it. Like along here. And just do it on the other side as well. Right, and now that you have that, you can go in the cartridge slot and just go up and down. So just go up and down like this. And do it a couple of times just to get as much dirt as you can out of there. And you could always apply more Windex to the card just so you have enough moisture in order to get all the stuff out. Alright, and this one was not actually that dirty, so I'm thinking this one's going to work once we plug it in. Alright, so now you're going to want to blow some compressed air in there just in order to get as much moisture in or out of there as possible. Alright. And now we could put in the other RF shield. Alright, and this one goes in front because these are for the controller ports right here. Alright, and just take your 8 screws that you unscrewed from here and just tighten it up. Alright, so I got all the screws into place, and now we could just screw back the cartridge slot holder right here in the front of the console, or the top part. And you just place it like that, and you just take your 3 screws and you just screw them in. Alright, so I got all the screws in right here, and now we can just flip it over and put it on top, and it should just go in like that, and then just flip the whole console over, and then you're going to want to put in your 4 screws, and then I'm going to do that really quick and I'll be right back. Alright, so we have the console back together, and now one last thing I like to do is, in order to bring all the shininess back to the console, is use some pledge right here, and just spray it on a paper towel, and just wipe it out against the console, and just wipe it anywhere that you can. And then it doesn't only just make your console shinier, but it also makes it smell pretty good too. Alright, and now you just let that dry. And then, now we're pretty much done. Now we could just plug the console into a TV and see if it actually starts. Alright, so I have the console hooked up right there. And I'm going to turn it on and see if let's see if it starts. Alright. And there we go. Looks like it starts. We'll just let it run a little bit. Alright, and it looks pretty good. Now let's see if it responds to the controller. Okay. And it looks like everything's working. Alright, so thank you everybody for watching this video, and guys, have a good one.